Sir, good afternoon, sir. Sir, good afternoon, sir. We are live now on YouTube and we have shared the link also, sir. So you can inform your students to join, sir. Uma, is my voice audible? My screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Mujib, sir, your screen is visible and you're audible too.
Okay. Kishore, sir, can we start? Faculties from your side has joined. Kishore, sir, can we start the webinar by any chance? Are your faculties joining? Okay, so
Kishore, sir, request you to unmute. We are not able to hear you.
Kishore, sir, you can unmute yourself, Kishore, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Shravanti? Shravanti, could you please start the proceeding? Shravanti? Madam Shravanti? Chat se పెట్టమనండి. Message పెట్టండి.
Kishore, sir,
Mujib,
can we
sir,
start, sir? We are
Mujib,
getting
sir,
late.
request you to make Shravanti as a co-host, sir.
Okay, let me remove the co-host rights for everyone. So I think they can unmute now. Okay, Uma, I'm giving a host to you quickly. Kishore, sir, can we start the session, Kishore, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry for inconvenience, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay, heartily welcome to the webinar. So, I am Miss M. Shravanti, Assistant Professor from St. Anne's College of Pharmacy. Now I am hosting the today's webinar. So, let's start the session with warm welcome. A very good morning to honorable speakers, Professor C.S. Muzbuddin and co-founder Uma Priya ma'am and respected correspondent of St. Anne's College of Pharmacy, Sister Dr. Monica, Principal Dr. A. Krishnakishore sir, dear faculty and students. I would like to offer my sincere thanks to respected correspondent Sister Dr. Maunika and Principal Sir Dr. A. Krishnakishore sir have initiated the program and kind support to Clinisol will be presenting today's topic of career opportunities and latest advancement and use of AI in clinical research. Today, we are privileged to join here to know more about career opportunities from the industrial expert speaker Professor C.S. Muzibuddin sir, founder and CEO of Clinisol Research Private Limited, and co-founder Uma Priya ma'am. Professor C.S. Muzibuddin has been actively contributing to the clinical research and pharmaceutical industry since 2006, with a rich professional journey spanning nearly 2 decades. He has worked with globally recognized pharma CRO and pharma IT organizations such as QPS, Paraxel, Accenture, Oracle, IQVIA, holding key roles across clinical operations, pharmacovigilance, regulatory affairs, and project management. He is a respected speaker at national and international platforms, delivering talks at ISCR, SCDM, IPC, IPA, Student Conclave and Technology, and academic summits such as G20 Technology Summit. Driven by a passion for teaching and skill development, he founded Clinisol Research Private Limited in 2019. Clinisol trains and supports thousands of learners every year, guiding them towards successful global careers. Under his leadership, Clinisol has earned 13 prestigious awards within 5 years, including recognition for training excellence and achieving the highest placement record in 2023, marking its impact and credibility in the clinical research education landscape. And coming to the co-founder, Uma Priya ma'am. Uma Priya ma'am, with a distinguished academic background, holding an MSc and MBA, embarked on her professional journey in 2004 as a junior associate in medical documentation for US healthcare facilities. She transitioned into a quality head and later became a project lead in a clinical data management at Dimensions Infotech. Her leadership in quality management, project oversight, and strategic process improvements significantly contributed to the organization's growth. Uma Priya's remarkable journey from her junior associate to a co-founder expertise visionary leadership in the healthcare and clinical research industry. May I request Professor C.S. Muzibuddin sir to speak a few words and continue the session.
Thank you, Shravanti, for introducing, and good afternoon, everyone. So I would first like to thank our correspondent madam, then our principal sir, for taking very quick steps to take up the session, which is a live webinar on particularly in clinical research and how the clinical research is growing and kind of a career opportunities, particularly for a pharmacist. If I understand in a way that you're all from pharmacy background and you're undergoing your B Pharm second year, third year, and fourth year. So today we are going to unlock the careers in clinical research, particularly for pharmacy, which is with respect to industry needed skills, which I'll be speaking. So without any delay, I'll just go ahead with it. So this is the first question everyone will have in their minds. Who am I? I'm an educator. I give a lot of conferences and back-to-back sessions and workshops and events. And I'm a data storyteller. I tell a lot of stories about the data and distinguished aspects. I'm a career mentor. Most of students come to me and ask what are the careers which we have, what are the opportunities which we have. I'm a social impact leader. I'm a healthcare industry professional, and I'm an entrepreneur. And I represent most of things into your pharma field. So that's about me. So I would like to put some light on my origins, where it started, how it started. So I think everyone is excited to know what is my background and where I studied and what I was doing there. So I studied, I was born in Kadapa, which is Andhra Pradesh, and my early years was spent in railway high school and railway college, which was on Guntakal. So the location is on Guntakal, which is Anantapur district. I studied here till my 10th class and 12th class. But the dream that I broke, always I had a dream that earlier aspirations, I wanted to become an engineer. So everyone wanted to become an engineer. That's why I wanted to take maths, physics, and chemistry. Fueled by my love towards your creativity and innovation, I wanted to become an engineer. And life has a toughest phase. It has a different phase. I failed intermediate MPC for 2 times. And definitely I was watching the peers move forward while I was still staying behind with MSc or MPC, maths, physics, chemistry. So my engineering doors closed. So engineering dreams shattered, facing an uncertain future with no clear path. But definitely destiny was not finished with me. Sometimes the doors that closes are the clearing path to where we truly belongs. So that's where my journey of pharmacy started. So now this is a new expected turn. I wanted to become an engineer, but there is an expected or unexpected turn in my life. A new place, walked into Karnataka with nothing but just a hope and determination that I can do something. Different path this time, joined diploma in pharmacy with the dreams of just having a medical shop opened. So I wanted to start a medical shop, just did my diploma in pharmacy, but it was a very hard choice. So, and after my completion of diploma in pharmacy also, I've not got my seat in B Pharm, then had to pay more money to get admission into B Pharmacy and only one option which I left. Then life has different twist. I joined BFARM, but it was one more falls, failures, and fight backs this time. So the reality check of college during my B Pharmacy, I was struggling with academics mounted, and I made mistakes, and I faced 3 months of suspension in college, and I was questioned everything. But quitting was never the option for me. I studied my B Farm, completed despite of 3 months suspension and a lot of difficulties I faced. I completed my M Farm also in Tamil Nadu, B Farm and M Farm in Tamil Nadu. Then I took my MSc in clinical research because I want to build some expertise in myself. That's where I took it in my B Farm, M Farm, and then MSc in clinical research. This was never been expected for me to enter into corporate world. I came to Hyderabad in year 2006, but starting from zero, I was not having anything. First role was medical writer in clinical research. Just I was having only one thing that is called as only confidence, which I had to start my career. So entering into corporate world was a challenging thing in 2006 at that particular time. Then I started working with a lot of companies. I worked with QPS, I worked with Accenture, I worked with Parexel, I worked with Oracle, I worked with IQVIA, and then I got expertise in your clinical research operations, regulatory affairs, clinical trials, and pharmacovigilance and medical writing. So I was able to get into a lot of opportunities and a lot of learning was there in my life. This was building global expertise. I was working for multinational companies, including Europe, UK, and also US, and all different countries I was working. Then comes the next twist in my life, the question that all changed everything. So I got one question which was very challenging for my life. Who is building the future of student like me? So I was a student and I was still struggling that who is really helping the students to come and take the careers and how they can form their careers. That's where I started looking at how I can make the student future ready. It's not just education, but it's career, how I can make it. I identified that there was a gap between classroom and industry expectation. The industry, what is expected, is different, and also the classroom, what they are teaching, is entirely different. So that's what I understood clearly. I wanted to bridge the gap between academics and industry. So what is being taught in colleges is not up to the mark for the industries. That's what I clearly understood. That's why I started looking at how can I bridge the gap between the industry and academia is something which I started looking very carefully, that how I can make these things happening and how I can take it forward for the students. So this was the birth of Clinosol. The first point, the birth of Clinosol was 2019, the humble beginning, wherein we started with one single room where the dreams were being shaped, one table where plans were being written, one laptop where vision was being reality, and one dream that transforms the life. No external support, only belief in purpose was build the foundation of personal experience, which I had already 15 years into my life. And the every student deserves industry ready skills, not just a set or just a paper, what can be given. They need the skill sets, they need the reality of the education. So that's what I understood very clearly, that how can I make this happen to the students. That's the one mindset which I had, and I started working on the birth of Clinosol. The Clinosol logo story, definitely the Clinosol logo story, everyone asked me. So the Clinosol, if you carefully see, one hand shows C and the other shows the hands yes, which is C, yes, which is also my initial. It's my initial, which is CS Mujibuddin, Professor CS Mujibuddin, which is personal commitment and leadership. And also it is on research and the pharmacovigilance, which is data quality, quality assurance, and scientific excellence. It also speaks about the clinical operations. It also speaks about data and digital health and regulations. This is what exactly the Clinosol logo story and the symbol of vision, identity, and expertise, which I have put all the time into this Clinosol. Now, coming back to Clinosol timeline, we started in 2019, founded with the vision to train and transform clinical research education, because most of student in your B pharmacy and M pharmacy, they want to go into production, QA, QC, or marketing jobs, or either it is medical shop, hospital pharmacy, or faculties, or any kind of this jobs. But how can we go into the highest paid jobs, which is clinical research jobs, the drug discovery jobs? Is something which we started looking clinical research education. Initial programs launched was clinical trial fundamentals and GCP trainings. 2020, we started a lot of new courses, including pharmacovigilance and data management, and adapted the online delivery mode and training modes, because of the most important problem happened at that time was COVID. So 2024 and 25, we wanted to start the advanced programs, which we have already launched, that AI integrated curriculum and decentralized clinical trials and advanced analytics, and also the course preparation for the student for the next generation of clinical research. That's the beauty that Clinosol timeline. About Clinosol, what does we do? We do skill-based training, practical hands-on curriculum designed for the students, and also for the academic institution, and also for the industries. We give the career readiness program. We give the industry-aligned syllabus for particularly into your students. So that started in the way that how I studied and all those things. The harsh problem, the companies hire skills, not mark percentage and certificates. We just have to understand that companies need the skills and talent and the communication excellence, not just marks and percentage. That's the gap Clinosol has identified and created to close that gap, making the academic knowledge into career ready expertise that opens the door, which just having a hard degree and having a good marks might not give an option, but the percentage is only just a 15%. But if you have more skill sets, more ready-made industry expertise, then you are getting a chance of a jobs, or more than 80% of chances. So this is the bridging of gaps, how Clinosol is bridging the gap. We give the practical hands-on training with real-time clinical research protocols, data management tools, regulatory framework, and hands-on project works. The industry experiences or exposure where directly we give interactions with the professional CROs, pharma companies, and hospitals, and interview readiness and all career mentoring. We provide a lot of trainings on this focuses. And then what are the courses we provide? We provide on clinical research, clinical data management, pharmacovigilance, regulatory affairs, medical writing, AI in digital health, clinical SaaS, and data analytics and soft skills and communication excellence and project management at HUR. We provide the trainings on this. So these are the courses and these are the jobs which are most demanded things in your industry, particularly when you are a pharmacist and a medical doctor or a dentist. You will have a lot of opportunities and a lot of scope for this particular job opportunities. So I'll be speaking about this. The solving the skills, the real problem is skill mismatch. You don't understand what is the skill required for the industry, how many companies are hiring. You really don't understand. Low employability and also career uncertainty. But we try to give the solution for it is based on hands-on training, the aligned curriculum, the career support, and also skill ecosystem. We are planning to do it more important. The next one, the student impact and placement outcome. The students have got multiple job opportunities. We have already placed more than 5,000 students, including the Cs and DSAs and clinical data associates and regulatory and the aggregate reporting places where our students are working is CROs, hospitals, pharma companies, and also global healthcare firms. Their students are working in these industries. This is about me, one of the most important aspect that every student asks me. The teacher without a title. I'm a professor, but I don't have a PhD. I'm a professor, but I'm not into the teaching, but I don't have a title as a teacher, but I train professionals from medical field, which is MBBS, MDs. I train pharmacists. I train dentistry, I train life sciences, I train data science, I train statistics, and I train business school also. And I have conducted back-to-back master classes on GCP, GLP, GMP for pharmacovigilance, regulatory affairs, and medical writing and clinical research and analytics and leadership skills. That's what is a teacher without a title, failed for 2 times, and a founder of Clinosol Research. So now the most important question which we are going to discuss on this is the Clinosol impact. Once upon a time, I was suffering what I have to do it, but now we have got 13 back-to-back national awards. We have trained more than 6,000 students. Out of that, 5,000 students got jobs. 100 plus we have collaborated with universities and the academic institutions. We have collaborated with all top 10 universities, and we have nearly 100 plus industry partners to place our students. Clinosol has become recognized as skill development partner for bridging the gap between the education and employment for clinical and life sciences industry. And we have conducted almost 3 workshops in Hyderabad sentence, the where we have got connected. I think your correspondent madam and your principal sir has connected with us because we conducted 3 workshops in sentence Hyderabad, and we wanted to have some knowledge orientation program and the real-time jobs which are available for the pharmacy students. We wanted to deal with it. So this is my current roles. I feel always honored that I'm not associated with one organization beyond Clinosol. I'm committed for advancing of healthcare education and digital health innovation and also professional development. I'm currently founder and CEO for Clinosol Research, leading the vision and strategic growth of India's premier clinical research training institute. I'm the director for Sai Ganga Penekya, which is digital health strategy, where we are developing a medical device, the first non-invasive device which can identify all 42 organs without a single drop of blood. I'm a professor of practice for St. Anne's College of Women, Hyderabad, bridging the industry expertise with academic learning to prepare the next generation professionals. I'm the director for Rapid Medic Hospital, overseeing the clinical operation and patient care. The greatest privilege of my career isn't about awards and recognition. It's about watching thousands of students transforming their uncertain graduates, just graduates, and then they are looking for more job opportunities and having more problems into the confidence and professional building careers. They are proud of that kind of a role. So that's why I feel always happy with this. So I speak on national and global stages. On an average, I have given more than 500 conferences, including IPC for 3 times. I was 4 times. I was a speaker from Chennai to Nagpur to Hyderabad to Bangalore. Also, this time also I was a speaker. I have given a sessions on more than 450 international conferences. MOU signed with multiple colleges and universities, industry academia meets, faculty development programs, on campus seminars, orientations, and skill sessions were being conducted by me. We also speak in BioAsia and IPCs, SCDMs, and clinical trials, and also FUSE conferences. So this is, I come into most of times in TV9 or in big TVs and other V6 channels and other channels to speak about the latest happening. Very recently, there were a couple of issues happened. One is alprazolam used in toddy, or one is the misuse of alcohol, the cold drip syrup, or very recently the atrium injection, and very recently there are some other issues which are happening with alprazolam, or there are some issues happening on antimicrobial resistance. So sharing the knowledge beyond the conferences on the social media and also social impacted topics, I'm able to do this all aspects in other than this areas. So you can search my videos in TV9, and you can search my videos in ITV and Big TV, and also V6 and ABN Andhra Jyoti. So most of Telugu media channels covers me. So now the core part of the discussion, why are we joined here? What exactly is the clinical research? So now if you want to take a new drug or a device or a vaccine or a biologics or a nutraceutical or a cosmetic product, don't look only we need a new drugs, we need a devices also, we need a vaccines also, we need the biologics, we need the nutraceuticals, and we need kind of cosmetic products also. Now, when you need this the products, then you have to test it on animals and also on human beings. When you are testing on animals, it is always GLP. And when you are testing on human beings to understand its safety and efficacy, then it is called as clinical research. So it's called as the clinical research, that every medication in your pharmacy, every vaccine that protects the communities, and every medical device used in hospital have to undergo the rigorous clinical research studies to ensure it meets the highest standards and highest safety and efficacy. This is where is most important, that whether the drug is safe or effective, and also it is been approved by the regulatory authority. So whether the drug product or vaccines or device or whatever it is, whether it is safe, effective, and also whether it is approved by the regulators or not, is something which we have to understand, which is more interesting and more important thing. Now, why clinical research matters? It's a simple logic. You need an evidence that when you are bringing a molecule into the market, then you need a evidence. The impact of clinical research extends far beyond from the laboratory. It touches to every aspect of modern healthcare with the evidence. If you don't have a clinical research, there is no new medicines. If you don't have a clinical research, there is no vaccine. If there is no clinical trials, then there is no new treatment or no treatment improvement is there. Every approved drug in today in the pharmacy has been gone through the thoroughly multiple phases of clinical trials, which is phase 0 or 1, 2, or 3, 4, which is involving of thousands of dedicated professional, and also encourages the volunteer to participate into clinical trials. So the why clinical trials is, it's more of evidence-based studies on thousands of patients to complete into clinical trials. Now, what exactly are clinical trials? The clinical trials are the carefully designed, structured research studies conducted in different phases. Phase 1, 2, 3, 4. This follows very strict scientific documentation and also conduct of clinical trial. That's why pharmacists are getting more of job opportunities, because they are conducted in very strict and ethical guidelines way. So the systematic and ethical considerations of conducting clinical trials, that's why we are getting more things. Their objective to conduct clinical trials is to do for the safety, to know about the accurate dosage, the route of administration, indication, effectiveness, and long-term risk and adverse events which are happening with particular drug products. So that's what is the objective of clinical trials, to know whether it is safe, effective, and also the dosage and route of administration and indication, and also the long-term effects of the new treatment drug. The multiple phases, the clinical trial phases, The phase 1, which is safety in healthy volunteers, a very small amount of studies, 80 to or 20 to 80 subjects, which goes for safety, dosage, and also how body can process the drug. Phase 2, efficacy and dose finding. First time efficacy is being done, and then the evaluating the effectiveness of the optimal dosing and continuous safety monitoring. Phase 3 is large scale confirmation, which is the clinical outcome confirmation for the conduct of clinical trial. And phase 4 is something which is called as post marketing surveillance, which is required for your studies. So now, what is global clinical research market? Why are we speaking more and more about clinical research and global clinical research about this? So because there are a lot of opportunities and lot of things are happening. It's 70 billion market size, annual growth of 6.5, and 350,000 clinical trials are currently conducted all over the world. If you need a job, the recession-free jobs, then definitely clinical trials and clinical research is the one job which you can understand and work on this, which is 350,000 active clinical trials are being conducted. Why India is becoming more hub for conduct of clinical research, and why students are going into clinical research and clinical trials and pharmacovigilance and CDM and medical writing? Because large patient population, there are large human patient population in India, particularly you can do it. The skilled professional and English speaking professionals are there in India, and the cost effective trials, very, very less cost of clinical trials conduct, because we most of times conduct the clinical trials comparative to Western countries. And regulation reforms, the regulatory authorities are continuously giving a lot of updates to the regulations wherein they can conduct a lot of clinical trials. Now, there is one more thing why India is globally important, because faster patient recruitment, you get the patients very quickly. There is a high quality data standards, global CROs are present, increasing multinational clinical trials are there. The career domains in clinical research, it is one is clinical research operations. The second one is pharmacovigilance. The third one is data management, and fourth one is medical writing, and fifth one is regulatory affairs, and sixth one is programming. So I think students want to go into either of these jobs. Let's see what exactly is this all job opportunities what we have. The first one is clinical research operations, which is site monitoring, patient recruitment, and also protocol compliance, and the site coordination and trial coordination. So this is about the clinical research operation and the opportunities in the clinical research operation. The second one is pharmacovigilance, drug safety monitoring, and adverse event reporting and risk taking. And the third one is clinical data management, the database design and data validation and query management and query resolution and quality control. And the next one is medical writing, to submit the CSR and regulatory documents and scientific publication. And the fourth one is regulatory affairs, the drug approval and regulatory submissions and compliance management. And fifth one is the clinical programming, which is statistical analysis, SDTM, ADAM, and also reporting by using statistical analysis software, which is SAS. These are the roles which you can go for a work. The first role is CRA. They go for site monitoring, regular visits to the trial sites, verify that data is accurate, and also source document verification, ensuring that protocol is adherent to whenever patients want to conduct into clinical trial or whenever they want to participate into clinical trial. The next one is they follow the GCP, as we have spoken about GLP and GMP. There is one more word which is very important for you, is GCP, good clinical practices, which is the ensuring all trial related follow-ups on good clinical practice and guidelines, the ethical standard for human subject protection is being done. And the data verifications and data validations, the cross-check report forms against the source forms are being checked very carefully whether the data is being transcribed correctly or not, and a report was being generated as reliable or not. The investigator communication is also the one of the responsibility of CRA, wherein act as primary line of the act as primary lessons of between the clinical trial sites and also principal investigator and sponsor, how we can do collaborative work while you are conducting investigator communication. There is a one more very important one. I think everyone wants to go into this team, which is pharmacovigilance team. Pharmacovigilance team is the science and activities which deals with the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of the the serious adverse event and adverse events. Adverse event processing is first job. Safety reporting is the second job. Signal detection and regulatory compliance is the third and fourth job, where you can get a lot of opportunities in pharmacovigilance to work on the safety monitor. The third team, which is very interesting and very most important, and everyone wants to go into this team, the clinical data management professionals ensures that the data is being collected during clinical trial is accurate, complete, and auditable, which is the collection of data, validation of data, reconciliation of data, and archival of clinical trial data is your CDM. The data validations and data management has to be very carefully taken into consideration. The first one is called as data validation. Design and implement the edit checks to ensure the data quality and consistency across all study sites. And query management is generate or take it forward, track, resolve the discrepancy management immediately before we go for locking of the data. The next one is database lock, finalize, and freeze the clinical data, although the cleaning and ready for statistical analysis purpose is there. And last one is series standards, where you can transfer the data into the systems. This is about the CDM. The 2025, the new technologies and latest technologies, what you can learn. Everyone have these questions. The first one is AI and machine learning. Please try to learn. And the second one is EDC, electronic data capture. All the digitalization, decentralization, and decarbonization is happening. So that's where you have to understand. And there is one more thing, which is the risk-based assessment, the risk-based monitoring, which has to be taken very, very carefully. That is where you need to do activity on this. How deep driven approaches focuses on monitoring and resources on high sites critical data points, which is RBM. The risk based monitoring reduces the cost while maintaining or improving the data quality through the strategic oversight. So these are latest technologies which students can focus on learning, which is most important. So AIML or decentralized clinical trial. So understand it, patient will not come to hospital. Every hospital has to go to a patient, where every home of a patient should become a hospital. That's where it's very important. And electronic data capture is the use of softwares and the electronic systems to conduct this kind of activities. So risk-based monitoring, the deep-driven approaches focusing on monitoring resources on high-risk sites on critical data and points where RBM looks into it. So anyone who wants to get successful in your pharmacy career, understand it's not your books and marks and percentage, it's your application of knowledge, including the technology, including communication skills, including the regulatory skills, including the networking, including the clinical skills, including almost updated knowledge and scientific updated information, which has to be there, is more important for you. So now the new roles, definitely in 2026, the new roles, AI and clinical analyst will be there, remote trial monitors will be there, real world evidence will be there, and digital safety specialist will be there. These are the roles. Earlier we used to say that there are roles which are particularly used for clinical data management, pharmacovigilance, medical writing, or regulatory affairs, or something like that. But now we have so many other new roles which are upcoming, which are new roles in 2026 and 2027 in future. The biggest question you can ask me: who hires the clinical research professional? Where are the jobs? Who will hire us? Why should we go for these jobs? Because these are recession free, highest paid jobs, and system based jobs, and work from home jobs. This is where the most demand part is there in clinical research jobs. The first is you can work in CROs, where it is contract research organization, departments or organization like IQVIA, Fortria, or LabCorp, or Covance, or Icon will be working. Pharmaceutical companies, including Novartis, Amgen, BMS, Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, all companies can hire you. And then you have biotech firms, which are more important for you, like Bharat Biotech or Shanta Biotech or Biologically or Poonawalla. All those organizations are there. Next is hospital diagnostic centers and ethics committees, and also research institutions can hire you and you can work on it. Next is IT companies, including Accenture, Cognizant, or IBM, or those organizations, you can start working on it. Now, the next most important is what are the qualifications required? The first and foremost, if you are a B.Pharm, M.Pharm, PharmD graduate, strong foundation in pharmacology and therapeutics and the digital innovations, also on the pharmaceutical chemistry aspects, then yes, you are good. There are people who are from BScs and MScs can go, biotechnology and nursing also can go, but most of times it's a pharmacy who goes into it. Now, question is what exactly companies are looking? What companies are looking? So I spoke about different roles. I spoke about different new roles. I spoke about different new kind of skills which are required. But now, what exactly is companies looking? Now, they look at the practical knowledge understanding on GCPs and also regulatory requirement and actual practical aspect instead of theory aspect. Understanding of regulation, including CDSU, FDA, ethics, and guidelines, and your ICH and EMEA and FDA and PGA or TGA or PMDA guidelines and regulations. Third one, communication excellence, including the listening, speaking, writing, understanding, selling, all those convincing skills. Hands-on project exposure is more important for you. What companies are looking for getting the right opportunities. Now, I think this is about Clinosol. Once again, I don't want to take more time on Clinosol. Thank you so much for patient listening, and I'm open for questions. Please stay back in the session. After one more session, we'll be giving a feedback form. Once you complete the feedback form, you'll be given certificate of participation for the webinar. So thank you for patient listening. I'm open for questions. Anyone have any questions, you can ask in YouTube and I'll be happy to answer. So over to you, Uma.
Thank you so much, sir, for a comprehensive understanding about the roles in clinical research and also a little about Clinosol. I know the time would not be sufficient if we start speaking about most of the things, but we try to cover we try to cover as much as possible. And yeah, students, whatever maybe your career-related questions, you can post in YouTube or you can hand over it to your faculty. They'll be taking them up once I complete my session. Now let's try to understand. Mujib sir has given an overall knowledge about the roles in clinical research, the qualifications that are required, and what are the critical skills that you have to develop to build a career in this kind of an industry, which is ever growing. We know that drugs, vaccines, biologics, all these products are something that we require in our lives. This is a part of life. These have become a part of our life and an undetachable part of our life to maintain our health and well-being. So let me share quickly my slide deck over here, and yeah, it would be good if someone can confirm the share of my slide deck. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Your slide is visible.
Okay. First of all, before I would start my session, thank you, Shravanti Madam, for the kind and great introduction of mine. And thank you, Dr. Monica Madam, Sister Monica Madam, correspondent, and also Principal Krishna Kishore sir, for giving us this opportunity to share little knowledge, within the stipulated time with your students. So we have learned a lot about clinical research now, the different domains under the clinical operations such as data management, pharmacovigilance, regulatory affairs, and all that stuff. Now let's try to understand the role of artificial intelligence in clinical research and how it's transforming the way clinical trials are happening. Let's try to throw some light on the latest trends and technologies that are shaping up the way clinical research was used to happen. So when we speak about the clinical research, right? So it's been always about reducing the uncertainty. So uncertainty in the health and the health situations, right? So every decade that we are crossing by, we are getting to know the latest technologies that are coming into the industry. So many tools have come, and what is ruling today earlier was the electronic data capturing tools. Now it has been transformed into the AI-based tools. So does AI really replacing the research? Definitely not. But it is challenging us to ask better questions so that it can answer in a better way. So all the future researchers like you will not just collect the data that used to happen earlier, but you're going to collaborate with the intelligent systems where you are going to interpret the data and the results in a quicker way and in a more ethical way. So let's try to understand the evolution of clinical research from past to present. Sir has already mentioned the different phases involved, and from your textbooks, you might be knowing the basic standard process from the drug discovery, how it happens, right? So before 1900s, we have seen that the research was just a trial and error method, accidental way of discovering something. We have seen the penicillins and all that stuff where it was an accidental discovery rather than it was an intentional kind of an approach that has been taken. And in 1940s to 70s, in between this 30 years of span, what we have seen is a randomized controlled clinical trials, nothing but we, without any bias, without any partiality, assigning the subjects to the different clinical trial groups and then we treating them without any partiality or, treating someone as a special person. So this is the era which even today is believed to be the gold standard, which is called as a randomized controlled clinical trials. These have emerged and FDA regulations have established during this time, and we have also started following the ethical guidelines from the mistakes that we have seen in the history that have been impacted the human beings a lot without any consent, without any proper guidelines, how the clinical trials have been conducted that have led to lots of deaths and also disabilities. We have seen the thalidomide tragedies, the syphilis tragedies, right, the Nazi war. We have seen all these cases in our textbooks. So let's not discuss that much. So from 80s to 2000, it was a wave of technology that has happened where we have seen lots of computerized systems coming into the industry, including the IT and clinical research. This is the area where to reduce the paper-based work and also to make sure that the transparency is maintained across the clinical trials. The data that we are collected is not biased or it is not fabricated, not manipulated. We then have started developing the computerized systems. That is where Mujib sir also has worked with Oracle for the PV databases and the data management databases, where they have built these databases so that we can capture everything ethically without any fabrications or manipulations in the data. And today, what we are seeing truly is an integration with the artificial intelligence systems to speed up the process, to personalize the protocols, to remotely monitor the patients where the human intervention is rarely needed. We have seen the COVID-19 crisis, which has taught us so many things. So the AI is representing the next leap, but the history always reminds us that innovation without any responsibility always creates a correction later. So let's move ahead and see what are the current challenges that these traditional clinical research methods are facing and why do we need artificial intelligence systems. If you could see the time and timelines, there is an inefficiency in the timelines through the traditional methods is minimum of 10 plus years, right from the discovery, then the animal studies, then the completion of the clinical trials in humans. So along this longer pathway, at any point in time, the drug may fail. Uh, Also leading to a huge cost. So every new drug that we have seen has come with a bigger price of at least $2.6 billion per each and every new drug development. Then comes the recruitment difficulties, participant registration or participation into the clinical trials is the biggest failure. 80% of the trials are facing the retention of the enrolled participants. This is the one more challenging area that we have seen, and the data management burden. So as the data is coming from different people, different sources, it contains lots of errors. So from building a analytical plan or a diagram or a final outcome that this is the amount of safety or this is the amount of efficacy we have achieved will become difficult for us when the data is coming from various directions and it is when it is not clean. So this is the challenge that the industry was facing, and lots of amount has been put before we could analyze statistically. The data management is where the burden is more to clean the data and give some output from this data. And then the failure rates, The drug can fail at any point in time, right from preclinical 1, 2, 3, any phase it can fail, incurring to huge losses, and also the not just the cost, the efforts also will be going wasted. This is where AI is going to help us, and how it will help us, we'll try to know now. Now, with the help of AI, what we can do is we can understand the diagnostics. Okay, these systems are reading the images, multiple data feeds we are giving of the images, and from this imaging data, the robots or the artificial intelligence systems or the machine learning algorithms are giving us accurate results. And we have come to know that at least 96% of accuracy is there with the AI read medical images when compared to a radiologist reading the report. So human errors are being avoided in the diagnostics with the help of the artificial intelligence systems. But again, the data is crucial over here. You have to give a right input, and we need people like you who are from the scientific background to give this data to the artificial intelligence systems. None else can do that. The second is the treatment planning, personalizing the therapy, because we know that one size doesn't fit for all, right? It is the same when it comes to the treatment. One type of a medication, the same dose, the dose regimen will not fit for every patient. This is where the AI is coming into picture, and it is personalizing the therapy, the recommendations based on specific genetic data, based on specific patient needs, and by reading the data from the similar cases. The third is the operations. It is optimizing the operations by its speed, allocating the resources. We are seeing even the agentic AI, where the artificial intelligence system is assigning the agents by its own self to distribute the tasks and speeding up the process. So this is making the administrative flows. Now, most of the hospitals are not having a receptionist. You have an online appointment that's happening, and it's by the robots. Okay, this is where we are seeing, and the drug dispensing pharmacists may be getting affected going forward if the machines are coming, and once you upload the prescription, they are delivering the medications. So you have to think about the next higher levels of your career, where your career is not getting stagnant or getting into a risk mode. The last but not the least is the research, and with the dictionaries being added to these machines, they are giving us what are the possible, chemical entities for our new treatments through pattern recognitions, and also predicting whether this model is going to be a hit or a flop by the data that we are giving to the systems. So let's try to understand how AI is redefining the data collection in the clinical studies. So these systems are analyzing the biomarkers, the computer vision, where we are analyzing the images, and the natural language processing, whatever language you may be using, these systems are translating in its own language, and they are giving us the results that the regulatory are understanding and accepting for the drug to be marketed. Then comes to the intelligent marketing, monitoring, sorry. So intelligent monitoring is something where the data is being, read through the mistakes that we have done as humans, and we are now practicing the very, very latest and advanced protocols, and any changes that are occurring, these systems are capturing immediately, and they are monitoring each and every step of the clinical trial with utmost care. Humans may skip some of the details, but these machines are remembering, they're not skipping any step and any kind of a minute detail that is important for the study and the success of the study. So how these learning algorithms are playing a role over here is they have a specific mode of learning called as clustering algorithms, classification models, and deep learning network. These are the different models that they use to learn and then stratify the patients into different groups. Then comes the predictive analytics. These are the analytics that will be foreseeing the data and the outcome from the clinical study. So they integrate all the data together, such as the clinical data, such as the genomic data, such as the data from the real world. Nowadays, we are using the wearables, the devices, the smartwatches. All this data also will be integrated over here to understand the patterns from it. Then comes, it develops a model for it, where it creates the algorithms to identify the patterns from the given data feed, and then they differentiate the risk, which patient group is at high risk, which patient group is at low risk, This is going to identify and put them into groups, and then it is aiding us to make a decision, to take a right decision and give the right support that is required for the patient. Then comes the natural language processing for the medical literature. As I have mentioned, it can read any type of a language in the world, and from it will take out the insights. They integrate all the literature together that is present across the world. We are seeing the chat GPT, the biggest example. Whatever question you have, any scientific question, it is pulling the data from all the publications and whatever maybe the literature that is available that has been given to it, right? And then comes the knowledge extraction from the data that it has taken. It is identifying what are the key findings. The papers may be of 100 pages or 200 pages or 1000 pages, but the information that you require may be given in one line or two lines or hardly in one page. It is curating that information so that you only are identifying the key findings, the methodologies that you need, and if any conclusions that are given very specifically over here with NLP models. Then it also recognizes the patterns from the data, the trends, which drug is going good, which is not performing good, in what regard, what kind of adverse events, any trend that that's happening, it is going to capture and making the human researchers life easier. And through this, it is generating some insights on what kind of a data we need for the research hypothesis or the research question, and what approaches are needed to make the drug not fail, but at the same point in time, making the failure as a success for the new drug entities. So, in real world applications, we have seen a 50% reduction in the time when AI systems are used, and 10 times better target screening. When we target any particular kind of a compound, it is giving with 10 times accuracy, and at least $2.6 billion is the cost saving that we are seeing, and the success rate is so far is 30%, and more models are being developed to increase the success rate. So when it comes to the recruitment, EHR screening, electronic health record screening from the healthcare facilities is happening with the AI support. And from this data, eligibility of the participants who is eligible for this kind of a drug is being predicted by these systems, and engagement optimization, whether the patient is taking the drug or not taking, whether he is skipping anything or if he is getting any adverse events. All this tracking is happening with the help of the AI-based tools and the technologies which are making the patient's life easier. Patient every time cannot come to the site. And this is where AI is helping us from the artificial tools, where we can, with a single button click, can access the data and also send this data to our healthcare facilities. Then the geographic matching, we understand that the people who are living in the north side are not the same as us, right? The people living in the east are not similar to the people who are stay living in south. So when it comes to the geographic locations, the diseases will be different, the conditions will be different, the food habits will be different. So if we need a particular geographic people, people from a specific geography, then these systems are helping us identify patients from that kind of a location, and they are giving us the data on who are eligible and where can we find such kind of a population from geotagging or geomatching or geomappings. Then comes the remote patient monitoring and A-bird wearables. We are seeing lots of wearable devices these days, the glucose monitors, the smartwatches, the wearables, where it is giving us the basic vital parameters such as our heart rate, the sleep patterns, the physical activity, how many steps we are walking on, how many kilometers we are walking, running, jogging, whatever it may be, they are giving our physical activity, the calorie counts, right? And whether we are adhering to the medication or not. Then comes, on the basis of this data, they are developing the data, and they are trying to identify if there are any irregularities in the heartbeat or any fluctuations in the glucose levels, and if there are any adverse events, if there are serious adverse events, they are capturing using the technology. So how to enhance the data quality and to reduce the human errors? So these systems are automatically validating the data, trying to identify what is the wrong data, what is the right data, and which patterns have been missed, which inconsistencies are missed by humans, and they are giving this data to the humans to make it in a better way. And the data standardizations to find a unique way of identifying the patterns from different sources has been identified using these tools and real-time monitoring. We are seeing that continuous oversight of the data quality is required over here, and they are the watchdogs. They are working as watchdogs without any rest. 24 by 7, we need rest. Machines do not need any rest. 24 by 7, they are working 365 days, continuously seeing the patterns in the data. Because if you even miss a single adverse event or a single serious adverse event, that is going to cause a huge loss to the humans. So this is where the machines are helping us, and also predicting the value of the missing data. If we have missed any important data, they are giving us that information that we have missed some important data to focus on such kind of patterns. Then comes in very complex medical data sets. They are really helping in excelling all the subtle patterns in very crucial images such as the genetic mappings, the brain images at the molecular levels, at the cellular levels, the biomarkers, everywhere they are helping us to understand the patterns. So with technology always comes an ethical consideration whether machines can really work good with the data, what is the safety and security. So when it comes to that, they are really helping us in forming a very good informed consent form without which any participant participating in the clinical trial is not possible. So they're also looking at the ethical considerations and maintaining the transparency in algorithms. This is still in the learning phase, but we are seeing good results when it comes to the transparency of the data that artificial intelligence systems are displaying to us. So you can also check ChatGPT. You can ask any question, but it won't give it wants you first. Okay. Then comes the equitable representation. All the algorithms that we are writing, we have to avoid the bias. So as a human, we can favor someone. At the same point in time, machines also, if you are not giving right instruction, can favor some kind of a data that has been continuously given to it. So to avoid such kind of thing, that comes under ethical consideration, which we are facing currently. But hopefully, with the latest models going forward, we may overcome this challenge. Human oversight, maintaining appropriate clinical judgment, only we can do that with our expertise. No machine can give a clinical judgment. It can just help us. So it can only recommend the things, and clinical judgment always lies with the humans. The verification always lies with humans. So always have the core knowledge so that you can understand what AI is not able to capture, what kind of a mistakes it is doing, and then your judgment is important because it is patient safety. So data privacy is always a question. It is very sensitive human health data. So always minimizing the data collection errors is what is in our hands so that no machine is misusing this. So regulatory departments such as FDAs are working on the current latest technologies, and they have their own kind of a regulatory framework made for using the artificial intelligence systems. The European agency, the NMPE of China, and we have ICH GCP, the Good Clinical Practices, the International Council for Harmonization, also working along with the World Health Organization in shaping the AI for the clinical research. So data diversity is the bias that we generally see, algorithm auditing and inclusive development. These are the areas where we can avoid the bias that is arising from the artificial intelligence. So if you could see, it's a case study from phase 3 trial, a very recent data. Patient recruitment has been improved with artificial intelligence systems. Protocol adherence has improved. Data quality has improved. Adverse event reporting has improved. And time to complete also has improved with the help of the artificial intelligence systems. So the initial cost would be a little higher, but the expected benefits are really, really huge when compared to the human errors rate. So this is where most of the companies are now looking at integrating the artificial intelligence systems in their processes. So the challenges are integration, because if you have to integrate between different systems, it is really difficult. So there are gaps in the expertise that we are providing. You all need to be get trained so that you can provide an expertise to the machines. Then black box problem, one more biggest problem when understanding the complex algorithms, complex data, then the decision making. For if you give tens of commands to even ChatGPT, it won't reply back to you with a decision with the data. It says that it's a very complex problem, so it will be dividing it into different parts of it. So when you give huge complex data, it may not be able to understand for now. And regulatory uncertainty. We are all the regulated industry in clinical research. Because of this reason, regulators are not accepting to every tool that we are building. They are very keen on what we make has to give some benefit to the population, especially the patient population. So data standardization, we may report in a layman term such as headache, such as pain in my head or pain in my arm, but this is not a technical terminology. So we have to have a technical language to represent such kind of terminology, and this has to be used across all the stakeholders equally. This is where the AI needs to be trained more. So what is the future? The genomics, proteomics, all these omics data needs to be integrated together, and digital twins where we form the data lakes, where we don't need any preclinical or animal killing going forward with the available data, the lakes that we have. Pools of data is available. With this data, we can compare our results and we can develop the models using this data. And we can also do this precision therapeutics. We can personalize, we can do the precision medicine also, so that we can customize drug to the target population, not one drug for all. Okay, and then adaptive core pathways, specifically the protocols, especially the clinical trial protocols, needs to be the real time so that they are benefiting the people. So building the right team is the biggest challenge, and we are working from Clinosol for the last 6 years to 7 years continuously in making the next level skill set in all these areas. We work with the pharmacists, we work with the medical doctors, we work with the technology people, as Mujib sir has rightly mentioned. We work with every stakeholder, every type of qualification, so that we train them in a right direction to achieve the greater results. So global collaboration is really required over here from the international research organizations. So we need the standardized protocols to develop this, and public-private partnerships and open science initiatives. These are still underway. They have just started. And how you can prepare is the first step that you can take is education and training. What your education is teaching you is from the publications, which is age old. So the technology is rapidly evolving. What you have to understand is you have to get that multi or the interdisciplinary knowledge from all these latest technologies. And definitely the colleges have to build an infrastructure where with computerized systems, with the data, they can teach the students on the advanced and latest drug discovery, development, and clinical research, the pharmacovigilance or the drug safety. All these areas can be done with the help of the partnership from the colleges and the universities. So all these people have to again invest in the research area, so that the next level people can understand the importance of the research and development and can bring latest advancements into the world. Policy advancement is in the hand of the government. Definitely they have to make the policies, and we have seen that schedule Y has been now moved to the NDCT 19, and we have got very latest in 2024 also. We have gotten the latest regulations, which you all have to understand. So key takeaways are uh, capabilities are so many. What you have to do is start learning. Always be keen on what are the latest things that are happening in the industry, how the technology is shaping the industry, the pharmaceutical industry, and the clinical research industry. So thank you so much for this opportunity to represent Clinosol over here and to talk a little about how technology is shaping the clinical research industry. Thank you once again. All the questions can be dealt by the uh, faculty team over here. Madam, if you have received any questions, you can let us know
Okay.
here.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, Ms. Buddin sir and Umapriya ma'am, for your outstanding presentation. I hope all the students gain extensive knowledge. Students, if you have any questions, please text in a chat box and get
Yeah,
clarification.
Shravanti madam, we have posted feedback form in the YouTube
Okay.
live. They can quickly click on that link and then they can complete the feedback form so that we can give the certificates for the participants in YouTube.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, sir. Thank you.
They can ask any questions. Uma is there. I'll also be there if they have any question. Over to you, Uma.
I'm here, sir. Any questions will be answered here.
Shravanti madam, do we have vote of thanks or we are all set for this program?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If we have
Now
vote
I
of thanks,
request.
we can give a vote of thanks and then
Yes,
we can.
sir. Okay. Now I request Dr. D. Anand Kumar, sir, Associate Professor, to deliver the vote of thanks.
On behalf of Sentence College of Pharmacy, I would like to take this opportunity to express heartfelt thanks to today's speakers, Professor C.S. Muzibuddin sir and Umapriya ma'am, for your outstanding presentation. My heartfelt acknowledgement to the management of Sentence College of Pharmacy, Sister Dr. Monica and Dr. A. Krishna Kishore sir, for your support and making the event in grand manner. I thank all the students for your valuable presence.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you, Uma. Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you,
much,
everyone.
Samujip sir, Shravanti madam, Krishna Kishore sir, and the management of St. Anne's College. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice, wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.